1, 2, 3. And we are live. Welcome to episode 56 of the Ask Self-Belief Youth podcast. My name is David Holman. We get in your questions from Instagram live, whatever is going on in your life, anything that you want to build self-belief or develop confidence in. We answer your questions and help you break those particular barriers that you're having in your life. I'm going to talk a little bit about Tony Robbins today, but just to answer a few of your questions already that are coming in, I've got one from Annie, which is interesting, which says, please give me some tips to develop my personality. Annie, I'm not going to give you any tips in terms of developing your personality, because all you've got to do is just do it for yourself. You know, it's about being yourself, not changing who you are. You're not getting the results you want at the moment. Fine. That's understandable. That's acceptable. That doesn't mean a change of personality. It might mean a change of action, change or a way of doing things. But certainly changing your personality is not the way to go. And I think many people, they think they've got to change who they are to become something else. Now, there is an element you have to give up who you are to become who you want to be. But that's about your actions, that's about what you do, that's about your routine, that's about consistency. That's not about the personality. That's not about who you are as a person. So I think you've got to work on that, you've got to change that and develop that. Just be yourself. Really, really do, in fact, be yourself. I'm just going to try and restart Instagram because it seems to have frozen again. Let's see if we can get that going again. So let's get the Instagram live back up. So that was the first question. I think it's interesting. I often get questions from people saying about, they think they've got to be someone. They look at someone famous and people think they've got to be someone. Look at that person. I've got to become them. Oh, look at that person. I've got to become them. That's not the case. It's really not the case. And in fact, as I said, I want to talk a little bit about Tony Robbins today. So, Tony Robbins, who a lot of people in the coaching industry would love to be, would aspire to be, they do everything to be Tony Robbins, but no one can be Tony Robbins. One, because he's got an unbelievable skill set. He has just immersed himself and he's got a passion and a mission to do a particular thing which no one else on earth has this passion or mission to do what he's done. You've got to go on your own journey. You've got to go on your own process to develop these things. So Tony Robbins, he had this, he decided through the pain he'd been through growing up, he wanted to make a difference to other people. And he even speaks about the way he was treated by his mother, who he says loved him, but would, get scared and abuse him. That if she'd been the mother he wanted to be, he wouldn't have become the man he wanted to be. And that's a great lesson for anyone in terms of the pain and difficulties we go through. And actually, if you're going to blame the bad things in your life for those pain and difficulties, you've got to blame all the good things for them, because you've become that person because of those difficulties and all the things that you've done or managed to achieve after that. Well, that's got to pay credit to that as well. So that's the first thing I would say for sure. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. Is you just got to be yourself. And so Tony Robbins, he went on this mission to change people's lives, and people look at it and they say, oh, I want to change people's lives, but they don't necessarily have the skills and the strategies and the ideas. Become yourself, be yourself. Don't try and change for anyone else. Okay? Understand who you are, and it's not about changing your personality as that first question was about, but what could you do differently? What do you want to become? What are the 3 things that would allow you to become that? And then what are the things you can do every day that would help you achieve those 3 things and, in essence, achieve the ultimate aim of who you want to become? For those on Instagram, you got any more questions, send them in this comments box down here. I will collate your questions and answer any more as we go along. There was a time where I wanted to be a Tony Robbins, and you sort of think, oh, what if I do this? And what if I do this? And it didn't work. I've actually had people say I'm could be the UK version of a Tony Robbins, but I don't want to be Tony Robbins. I can't be Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is brilliant. I've got my own path to go on. And my obsession is around self-belief. It's through the difficulties and tough moments I've had, and I've not had a bad life, but I've definitely been to the bottom of a lack of self-belief. And I don't want to go back there, but I don't want you to be there either. Recently, I've had some particularly tough moments, challenging moments, but it's confidence that pulls you out of it, and understanding who you are that pulls you out of it. So while someone wants to be a Tony Robbins, you can't be. When someone wants to be a LeBron James, you can't be. When someone wants to be a Lionel Messi, you can't be. But you can be you. And if you're not going to be you, then who is? And all those gifts and talents and abilities that you've been given, who will look after those? Who will be that particular person if you're not going to be that person? So whatever it is, your talent, your strength, your ability, I'm just going to wave to some people on Instagram. So hello to Rodney and Cedra. Whoever it is you want to be and desire to be, can you push those particular boundaries? Sophia's just joined. Hello, Sophia. You got any questions for me? Just leave it in this comments box down below and I'll get around to them in a minute. Can you stick to who you are? What amazes me with the people I work with is they have such a little understanding of who they are. They have a vague understanding of who they want to be, but who are you right now? Because understanding who you are right now allows you to understand, what your gifts are, what your talents are, how you can use them to change and contribute to other people's lives. But it allows you to identify what are the things, not in terms of the personality, but in terms of the things you've done in your life. What can you change to develop and become the person you want to be? Understanding who you are in this present moment, not who you had been in the past and not who you're going to be in the future. Being authentic is incredibly important, but being authentic is not about recognizing what you've done in the past and what the general pattern is and the routine is. Some parts of life is about pattern, but being authentic is about who you're going to be in this present moment by performing in the way you should perform. Understand who you are, and then you can learn to be more authentic. I want you to use up your talents and gifts and abilities. And for some of you, you might not know what they are yet. And for some of you, you won't recognize them for a little bit. But look at those moments in your life where it was just natural, where you could do it. And it wasn't that people told you were good, but it just felt right. It felt good. That you were able to give, you could grow, and it made you feel grateful about life. Those are the things you need to be looking for. To give, to grow, and to be grateful. Okie dokie. Right, let's see if we can get some questions. Okay, so so Nikki says, when someone doesn't understand something, how can I explain things better? Understanding or teaching or learning or educating, this is for anyone, whether you're a coach, a consultant, a teacher, an educator, or just anyone who's trying to provide information to someone else. What you must do is connect the unknown to something that is known. Connect the unknown to something that is known to them. That's the important bit, known to them. So what does that person really know really well? Okay, right. Use that as an analogy or explain that unknown thing in those terms. Anything you learn, whether it's maths, English, rocket science, whatever, it has to be understood and taught with the references that you already have. So try and work out what that person's references are and then educate them and teach them based on those particular references. Excuse me, just knocking the microphone all over the place. Understanding using those references and then try and educate them through those particular means. Okay, so I hope that helps. And that's one of the wonderful things that Tony Robbins has, is he has that ability to talk to people using their language. He adopts their body language, mirrors that. He looks at what they focus on. He uses their same type of language. And how do they process information? Do they process it on what things sound like? How things feel, what things look like. How they're processing that information is incredibly important to how he operates and does things. Okay, so that's what Tony Robbins is seriously brilliant at. But you've got to work out what, that's his talent. What's your talent? What's your ability? What will separate you? What's the thing where you do? What's the thing that you do that people will look at and go, that's what they do better than most. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to do what they do. And, I'm going to process that, and they'll want to work with you and have sales with you and work with you as a client and whatever else, whatever it is you're destined to do. My name is David Holman. If you change today will change your life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your life wherever you are. For those who are listening in on the podcast, my book, Thinking Lies, Learning How to Believe in Yourself, you can get a free copy of that right now. If you go to selfbeliefchief.com, on that page, there will be a very clear message that says free book. If you are interested in a free copy of my book, and those on Instagram Live, let me know if you're interested in a free copy of my book. If you are interested, just go to selfbeliefchief.com, click on there, and there'll be a section that says free book, and you can get yourself you can download a free ebook as well. I'm working on the audio book as well, so that will come around. But for those of you interested, I hope that helps. And as I said, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoy the rest of your life. And I'll see you on episode 57.